Okay, so Sergeant Sasser, she makes learning real fun. It's very interactive. I don't get how everyone else falls asleep in that class. It's so fun. I'm always awake. She's quick to call people out. Like, she's very blunt, and I appreciate that. She don't mind answering the dumbest questions, because I ask a lot of dumb questions. Um, Damn, made me lose my train of thought. She's like a mom.
What do you think? He gets things done. You know, like we ask a bunch of questions, so for him to answer all our questions and to help us out, I think that's pretty. Well, we ask a lot of questions with Sergeant Sasser too, though. But I don't think I'm one of the people who ask a bunch of questions, so I don't think that's on me, the question asker stuff. But I really appreciate the fact that they deal with our questions every day. Yeah.
There's too many things. But if I had to say one thing, I'd say her sense of humor. Because she's so funny, but like she's so sassy about things sometimes. So I'm like, I love you.
Oh my gosh, Drill Sergeant Wilson, he's probably one of my favorite drill sergeants I've had by far. Every time like I see him or anything, he just makes me so like hyped. Like he inspires me so much.
Well, Sergeant Sasser, I like that she's very knowledgeable in the field, and also I love that she's always ready. She's very cutthroat, so she's always ready to take care of things when needed, especially for the soldiers. She always takes care of us. And Sergeant Wilson, he's very down to earth. He's very humble, you know, and he was never like, he treated us, everybody, I think, pretty fair. He was very cool about everything whenever we had questions, stuff like that.
What do you love about Drill Sergeant Wilson?
Sergeant Wilson's pretty cool too.
Sergeant Sasser's funny. She's always like in a good mood for the most part. Unless we get on her bad side, then she makes us find discipline. But other than that, she's cool, and she's a good teacher. You know, it's pretty easy to learn in her class. And, there's always we always have good laughs in Sergeant Sasser's class.
Sergeant Sasser stands for loyalty. She helps us whenever we need it.
I love that she reminds me of my mom, and I tell her that all the time.
I love that she's so caring. Like, I feel like a lot of the other instructors here, not to throw any shade, but they like rush through everything and they don't really care if each and every soldier understands the topic, whereas here, she'll take her time to answer everybody's questions, even though that it can get really frustrating. I think Sergeant Sasser, out of all the NCOs I've had in the Army so far, she's definitely been one of the best ones because she showed effort.
Her class is like better than my high school. Like, I actually enjoy this class. High school, I used to like not do anything and I still pass the class. And this time, I actually have to do work in order to pass her class. So I really love that. She's like a really fun teacher and everything.
Sergeant Sasser, I love that she's very understanding with all of us. She's able to explain things in multiple different ways so everyone can understand what's going on in class.
Sasser. She always puts up with that shit. Like, honestly, like I don't know how the fuck she does it. Cause like if like one person pisses me the fuck off, it throws my whole day off. You know what I mean? But she has to deal with all of us, every single one of us, every day.
She doesn't give a fuck what people think.
No, she doesn't. And we like to, like, she's a good person to talk to. Like, I can vent about her, like, I can vent to her, like, about anything, literally. And she's just so understanding. And she helped me with a lot of my problems, personal problems that I've had these past couple weeks. And I just want to thank her for listening to me and giving me help. I love you, Sergeant.
Love you too, Sergeant.
I like that both are strict, but at the same time, they understand the soldiers and they're not hard on them, but at the same time, they know that to discipline them. And I like that. They hard, but I don't know, they're good. They're good NCOs that anybody can come to them for an advice or recommendation, anything.
Sergeant Sasser is she's a very good teacher. She's very approachable. I never feel like, we're a burden on her life. She explains things very well, and I never really feel like she's like busting our backs over small things. That's what I like about Sergeant Sasser.
How compassionate she is with us, and how she wants us to do well, and she wants to put out actually good paralegals instead of just running them through and not getting enough training that they should get. But how loyal she is to us and how much of a role model she is than she makes herself. So that's what I love.
I think Sergeant Sasser has really good work ethic and a really great teacher overall.
Because she's like a second mom, you feel? She's always nurturing, always kind. I hate that camera. She's always kind, and she call you out for your crap. So like, I don't know, she treats you like an adult, and she gives you avenues to grow. I like that.
Sergeant Sasser, I love the way she teaches. I love how she engages the class. I really like the conversations we have with her when we kind of go off on a tangent on some sort of things. But it's kind of cool because she teaches more than I feel like other teachers teach. She really inspires me to work hard, and that's what I really appreciate from her.
She's just a really, really good NCO and instructor. She inspires me to learn and to be a better paralegal, and that honestly, without her, I wouldn't believe I'd be doing so alongside my schooling year. Yeah, at the end of the day, I couldn't be more fortunate to have such a great instructor and to learn from such an experienced paralegal herself.
I'd say the thing that I love about them is that they've really helped me throughout the entire cycle that we've been here, getting me to the appointments that I needed to get to, and I've been needing to do a lot, I guess. So I really appreciate everything that they've done for me, and I also appreciate everything that they've done for the platoon and the class as a whole. They've kept us on the right track and kept us doing the right things throughout our entire time here, and I just really appreciate them for all that they've done.
I would say my favorite things about both of them collectively would be I love how they both treat us with a lot of respect, but they also demand a lot out of us.
She's pretty cool.
Drill Sergeant Wilson, that's my dog, man. When I was high and I got my teeth pulled out, when I saw him, I was so excited. I almost called him Dad. He always stay on top of it because I've had a lot of issues, like with my BAH and then Thanksgiving and all this extra stuff. He very patient. He don't mind. He makes it fun. Like I remember one time he told Drill Sergeant Vanetta he was gonna have us beat him up. Yeah, I just love Drill Sergeant Wilson. He's the best drill sergeant, period.
I'd say his attitude. 'Cause he's so relatable with the way he reacts to things, and he's so funny.
He's a cool guy. He's easy to talk to, respectful. He's funny, and yeah, you can have good laughs with him and stuff like that, and ask him questions, and he'll, tell you whatever he knows, and just give you, basically just put you on to knowledge for just whatever you ask him. He knows.
They're really good at their jobs. You can tell they've been here a while, and they know what they're doing. Because I transferred into the class, and when I was in 502, it was Drill Sergeant Sharma's first time being a drill sergeant, and I think it was Sergeant McConnell's was one of his first classes, and you could really tell that it was their first time doing it. But with Drill Sergeant Wilson and Sergeant Sasser, you could tell they're good at what they do.
For Drill Sergeant Wilson and Sergeant Sasser, it both goes. They're genuine people, and that they don't take shit from anybody.
I love that he's so funny. I feel like he doesn't even try to be funny sometimes, but he's so funny.
Yes. I feel like he knows when to, because obviously we deserve it to get in trouble sometimes. But I feel like he notices when we're doing good, obviously. Like, he's not like the kind of drill sergeant to get us in trouble and be honest for every single little thing. But he does make sure that we do things right.
The level of knowledge that Sergeant Sasser has as far as material goes is definitely a value added to the class, and really enjoyed having her as an instructor.
I say a lot of things like Joe Sergeant Wilson. Like, I really love all the things he did. Like, that inspires me like to do like most of the schools he went to. Like, I want to do more. Like, sure, RAS is one thing, but I thought I was like RAS and that's it. Like, if I don't make it, then no. But seeing all that, like, I want to just try out as many schools as I can. Like, enjoy my time in the career in the Army. I really look up to him a lot.
Joe Sergeant Wilson, he's freaking hilarious. When we ask him for help, he's always willing to help, but he's going to give us a sarcastic response to everything we do anyway. And I really respect that, because I try to be the same way, but my sarcasm is not as well understood.
As your son, Hamza, I'd like to thank you, Father Abu. Yeah, that's it.
He's really good at like making us not being complacent, you know.
What I love about Sergeant Sasser and also Joe Sergeant Wilson is that when they're together, they're an amazing combo. And I think that's helped us as a class get along, especially because we see them get along so well. So I tend to think I can get along with anybody in my class if they can do it.
But she told me I don't want shit out here.
Drill Sergeant Wilson is he's very like calm, and you know, like he holds us to a high standard, but he never gets on us for stuff that we don't know, or he never gets mad at us for coming to him and talking to him about the military or asking him about his experiences. And I feel like that's a good quality to have, especially as a drill sergeant, to not shy away from telling your soldiers what the military is actually like.
How funny he is, how much of a good leader he is. He shows us, that he just shows us that you should just treat everyone equally no matter what their rank is, but he kind of just takes care of us. He's like a little dad figure, I guess. But how loyal he is, and I don't know, just how good he is to us.
I like how they treat us like adults when we're acting like it.
I like how Joe Sergeant Wilson is a really good, inspiring leader.
Joe Sergeant Wilson is very inspiring. He's a leader and just a great NCO overall. He is the type of NCO that inspires me to be the standard and the best that I can be. I don't want to mess up because I don't want to let him down, and that really showed me, the value of NCOs and how important they can be with leading lower enlisted. Honestly, he's the greatest sergeant I've ever had, and I'm so fortunate to have him as a drill sergeant. He's given me a lot of advice, and he's really helped me decide what I want to do with my Army career, and it has just made me a better soldier overall.
That's my father, Father Abu. Just Sergeant Wilson. He's just really chill. You feel like he's not like other drill sergeants where he's like always down your throat yelling at you for stuff. No, he treats you like a human being, like you actually a person, and not just like the military treats you like a number or just somebody to fill in a slot. No, he treats you like a person. He like if you mess up or something, he gives you opportunities to recover from it. He places value in your recovery and in you learning from your mistakes, not just in the mistake.
Yeah, he's my drill sergeant and not Drill Sergeant Hairston.
My favorite memory was Sergeant Sasser. would be probably really just every day, because every day she has something to say to me. That's very entertaining. Yeah, that's it.
My favorite memory of Sergeant Sasser was the different times where we all like, you know, sit down as a class and just kind of like do fun things. Like we did this thing where we all got together and wrote down stuff that was bugging us and then just kind of like talked through it. It was really just nice to be able to do that and work together as a class. And she's very caring for us, and honestly I feel, you know, like she actually does care about us and how well we're doing and what we're learning, and that, you know, inspires me to be a better soldier, and it makes me actually want to come and learn, and it gets me excited for my classes, and I'm, like I said, very fortunate to have such a great instructor.
Oh, I like when she took us all aside and we talked about, well, we had like a platoon meeting. We all talked together as a group about collective problems that we have with issues like people not ready to go home and stuff like that. It was pretty chill.
My favorite memory with Sergeant Sasser would be the field, because the first night that we were there, she like kind of opened up to us, and she didn't necessarily talk to us like she was one of our instructors. Like she talked to us like she was one of us, and it made us feel like we got to know her better. And also on the second night, she let us go back to sleep. Yeah, and then she let us go to the defect. So I'm not supposed to say that.
Favorite memory would be when it was like yesterday when we had that venting session, but before me and Rubek got a chance to speak with her, and I told her all about like all my problems that I've had back home, and she was just talking to me, and like I just got to see a side of her that like not everybody gets to see, and the side of her that's so understanding, and like she like really touched me and tried to help me, and I don't think I've ever met like an NCO that's like.
She really cares about all of us.
Yeah, like the way that she cares about us, I really love about that.
Like the first week, I was PG, and then I went in the classroom, and she's like, "Rubek, you're the classroom leader." I was like, "Sorry, I thought you couldn't do both of them." And she's like, "Oh, Rubek, you can't do both of those?" And so I was like, "All right, like I can do it." But I was like, took it as a challenge, and it motivated me.
My favorite memory of Sergeant Sasser is, this is kind of a weird one, but when she tells us about like cases that she's dealt with, you know, they may be horrible and like, you know, very sad stuff, but it's good to hear about it, and because it kind of makes me like respect her more, because like she's had to dealing with these horrible people, and she's still here teaching us, you know, trying to make us become good paralegals so that we can go out and, you know, stop other people from doing bad things.
My favorite memory of Joe Sergeant Wilson is when we were doing the battle drills, and when he started calling Alamu Kobe, because she couldn't throw the grenade to like a certain spot, so she thought yelling Kobe was gonna help, and Joe Sergeant Wilson just started making fun of him for it.
It would definitely be at the FTX when those sergeants came up shooting at us, and she was like, you know, females get online, and I'm over here shooting, and then bro tried to come for my sergeant. He was like, who is that talking? And then no, I remember. So he comes up and he's over here like, what are y'all doing? Y'all need to get online. And she defending us because, you know, that's our NCO. And she was like, they are online. They're not supposed to be running around like Rambo. And then he was like, who's that talking? And then, you know, here I come, because he not finna disrespect my NCO. So I was like, our NCO. And he walked away. And, you know, I just love that memory, because, you know, she don't take disrespect from nobody. And she was ready for him to talk mess about 27 Deltas, and he didn't. Yeah.
Well, I like the story she tells us, so like that's kind of like every time she's around. But I think my favorite time or like favorite memory of Sergeant Sasser was in the field, just like all the time. She was just hilarious, and she was just so freaking, I don't want to curse, but like she was just so, I guess, strong, if I'm not gonna say the bad word. But she just like, she was killing it. Her foot was killing her, but she was still faster than all of us, and we were all like huffing and puffing in the background. And she was just like, okay, let's go. So I think that's probably my favorite.
My favorite memory of Drill Sergeant Wilson was when we were in the field, and we had so much time with him, and we would like ask him questions, and he'd tell us about like, he was like telling us when he told us about SEER school. That was crazy. He's talking about like running through through wherever for a week straight, and then when Sanchez was doing the hero board, and I was his battle buddy. Me and Drill Sergeant Wilson and Sanchez were all just talking. It was a great. It was great to get to know him better and like just talk with him. It was awesome.
I don't know if I really have a favorite memory exactly, but I know I like when Sergeant Sasser comes in the classroom, like if we've been doing good lately, and she'll bring in some donuts for the class. But she makes us like, in order for us to get donuts, we have to do like laps, like lunges around the class. But I like that. I like that she does that. And she interacts with the class, and she's like down to earth, and she's real cool.
What's your favorite memory of Sergeant Sasser?
Every day is my favorite memory because every day is something new, but probably everything that happened in the field and how funny she was, and she just kind of showed us how real she is with us in the field, and she, I don't know, she's just like that mom figure that you've always wanted, but she's also one of the most powerful people, not powerful, but strong people I think I've met, so I don't know, just every day.
Okay, so my favorite memory would probably come from the field. However, overall, I enjoyed the field as a whole. I feel like I really got to know Sergeant Sasser as a whole and really enjoyed my time with her. However, I keep thinking of the one thing she said to me when the first night we were there, the conversation, the girls was all talking, and I don't know how we got talking about this, but I told her, came out about me being gay, and she said, oh, she's like, when you told me you played soccer, that's when I knew you played for the other team. And that is my favorite memory of Sergeant Sasser.
When you turn yourself like,
oh Lord, there's so many. Okay, hands down. My favorite memory is when we had to take CD from the dentist after his wisdom tooth got pulled back to the barracks. That was hilarious. Just Sergeant Wilson was clowning on him the whole time. And CD was he was out of it. We were on the bus, kept touching his face. Just Sergeant, you're my just Sergeant. That was hilarious. Oh, and then we had the roast CD upstairs in a little wheelchair thingy. That was funny. CD was laughing like a freaking Joker the whole way up. He took the elevator and we accidentally ran into the wall. And CD just started laughing. Freaking weirdo.
And then Sergeant Sasser, when we first got here, and she told us we had to do sit-ups and push-ups in class every break. Oh no. And what is it, 30 and 40? Oh, that's too many. That's way too many. But I asked her if I can just do the sit-ups and not the push-ups. And she said no. And I said, I don't want my arms to get buff. And she said, they're not going to get buff. And I don't believe it, but if I have to do them, I will do them. But I just don't want my arms to get buff. That's all.
My favorite memory just in general in Sergeant Sasser is doubtful of us. Keep saying don't bullshit a bullshitter. I like that.
Being in the field with us, I like the idea that they sleep there with us, they eat their defect food with us, they rock with us. It's just everything with us. They didn't try to get out of it, which I heard a lot of NCOs from other companies did, and I think that was very good, a very good experience.
So it had to have been, I don't know why, it's such a simple memory. It was one time at the DFAC, he was telling us about how Victor Company ate his M&Ms and almonds, and then I just went out of nowhere. I was like, that's why they're not the standard. And then he just looked, and yeah, I don't know why. It's so fucking funny.
Her saying, sit your ass down.
Memories. Well, like I told you, like Joe Sergeant Wilson, when we got on the elevator that one time, and I don't know what I did, but I said, sorry, Joe Sergeant, I'm sorry I'm always confused. And he said, yeah, you are always confused. You should get a shirt with your name on it, or a shirt that just says confused. And I said, yes, Joe Sergeant. And you know, for him to deal with me always being confused, like, that's pretty amazing too.
And I even talked to him about like a couple questions. Like when I was going to church one day and I asked him what motivates him, he was like, I never had anybody ask me that before. And when he answered it, he was like, I guess the thing that really motivates me is the fact that I'm the one to be willing to like do what people won't actually do, and that like I've gone through those struggles where I'm the only one that can like do it, or that I'm willing to do it, and just being able to do it and knowing that you're part of a bigger team just really inspires me. And after hearing that, that just made me more motivated.
My favorite memory of Sergeant Sasser is the first day we had to do urinalysis, and I was sitting on my phone, and she told me to get the fuck off my phone. I'm not here to play on my phone. I'm here to do urinalysis test. And that was the first impression I had of her, and I thought the class was going to be really hard.
You remember Joe Sergeant Wilson? I don't know. Every day's like, I don't know. Every day's funny with both of them. Like every day is just different and funny. Probably the field again. You know, he kind of showed us like the fun way of doing things, so we're not sitting around being miserable. But I don't know.
When we were talking about that haunted mansion.
Oh, yeah, when we were just, that's funny. I don't know, just everything, every day.
My favorite memory of Sergeant Sasser and Drill Sergeant Wilson is probably when we were out in the field and we just sat down and like everybody was just talking with each other like we were just normal people, I guess. I mean, I know that we're soldiers, we got to be professional and everything, but that time out in the field was definitely a fun time overall.
My favorite memory of Drill Sergeant Wilson would also come from the field. I would say before the field, I perceived Drill Sergeant Wilson as kind of a more shy kind of guy. And then we went to the field and we were doing our first MOS training, and out comes Father Abu. And it really caught me off guard. And I would say that seeing him play those roles in different positions was my favorite memory of Drill Sergeant Wilson.
My favorite memory of Drill Sergeant Wilson is when he always texts us and tells us not to be for formation, so we don't have to waste time and just go there.
What's your favorite memory of Drill Sergeant Wilson?
When we did the Bean Boozle challenge, we told him to pick 3 jelly beans. I mean, 1 jelly bean at a time, and all of them was good. And Trembly got the nasty one, and yeah, that's it. Sergeant, I don't mean to be rude, but you're not the only 27 that's in this motherfucker now. If I pass the EOC.
All right, so what do you love about Sergeant Sasser?
Why'd you do this one first? Let me think. John, you want to take your turn right now?
No.
So I have time to think.
I didn't think of that one too. Okay.
So
I have to look straight into the camera.
No.
Where do I look? I hate this so much. Are you Okay, hold on. Let me get my composure. Okay.
What do you love about Sergeant Sasser and Drill Sergeant Wilson?
I was. Oh my god!
What do you love about Sergeant?